A very warm welcome to our coverage of eRacing GP. It's the third season of this sim-related game. We are approaching the halfway point of the 6-race season. It is round 3. Alex Young is the architect of the whole series. And Alex, you're choosing American circuits for the whole championship. But this is the first time we've really had a chance to look at one of the ovals, the infamous Daytona road circuit.
Yeah, so we're at Daytona, and it's been a real challenge. So many things. First of all, it's half oval, half road course within the oval. So the infield section is all tricky and tight and twisty. Then you've got the flat-out oval bits where you could be a lot of slipstreaming in the race we're about to watch. And of course, because we start on the banking, that means the start is going to be very tricky as well. Don't forget, we're watching Indycars now in the Gold Final, what's it, 600-700 horsepower. So you get a lot of wheel spin, and the banking means the cars will be sliding off the start because they're not built for standing starts, they're built for rolling starts.
Okay, we'll get onto the circuit a little bit later on, but firstly, it's the best of the highlights. I told you we've had 2 rounds so far. This is round 2. Now, last week was a straight-off 40-minute race. This and Miko Nasi was the star turn in that. Miko Nasi going on to become championship leader. We are on red. Let's get aboard Aleef Hamilton for the start. There is Aleef, currently in P4. Tasbih to his right. Nasi and Nakib in front. Nakib off to a good start. Nasi off to a flyer. Hamilton and Tasbih go side by side. Hamilton gets up a place and gets up into P3. A little bit of contact with Mohammed Tasbih, but it's Nakib who gets off to a really solid start, and the Malaysian, who cannot afford to make mistakes, didn't make a mistake.
He's going to look to the outside. He dives to the inside. Great move by Ken. Oh, he's oversteering. They're both going wide by side. Not able to quite make it round. Oh, he's on the inside for the next corner. Yes, he's made it. He seems to have made the move. No.
And a big smile. Oh, he's got through. He's got through. Aleef is closing in on Kalen Chin. Aleef looks like he might be about to make a move on the outside of Kalen Chin. Aleef back into P3. Kalen, lots of contact. And Aleef won't like that, and Kalen won't like that either, to be honest. Well, Kalen just lost so much time after that contact. And he looks as though he's slowing down and is indeed being overtaken by Mohammed Tasbih. So Nakib has got the lead. Miko Nasi is in second. Aleef Hamilton nearly 4 seconds down on Nakib. Right, I can tell you, Nakib has gone into the pits, Alex Young. This is him just going on the way out. It means he drops down 25 minutes in. Is this a 1 or a 2-stop strategy? Lots of theory here. Aleef is back out. Now he's in the pits.
Okay, Aleef pits right now. Whoa, he'll be glad to get to the pits. Get those tires off. Now he's got to So we got guys on different strategies. We got Nakib and Nasi, who will be going to try and make a 2-stop strategy work. And then we got Aleef, who will be driving nice and carefully to try and make this 1-stop strategy work. But at the moment, we're on board with Jason Tay. Let's go back with Nakib. This is important. Let's see how long this pit stop takes.
Aleef goes into the lead. There's traffic ahead of Aleef Hamilton. Nakib, you can see him. He's got to come out of the pit lane, trying to warm up those tyres. Aleef is just being held up by that traffic.
But yeah, let's get back to the front, shall we? That's where the excitement is. 2 minutes to go. What's that, about 3 laps? 3 laps and a bit to go. Aleef's going to cross the line now. Let's see what sort of lap time he does. And look at that, the green car, Miko Nasi, is hunting him down. That was another 8 flat by Aleef. A great lap. Miko Nasi, of course, faster with the fresher tyres. Did a 7.4. Just under 2 minutes to go. There will be 3 laps remaining. Can Miko Nasi take the win?
I got so excited, I've lost our position on the lap.
This could be the last lap. This is the last lap.
Nasi must make his move. Aleef defends. This is for the race. They come through the SS. Nasi on the inside. Nasi takes the lead from Aleef Hamilton.
Oh, Oh, there's been damage to Aleef Hamilton. There's a puncher. He's slowed down.
And Nakib is closing. Nasi will take the lead. Now Nakib is just 2 seconds behind. No, 4 seconds behind Aleef. Can he get there? Aleef drops down. Aleef drops into P3. Nakib into P2. Nasi on the last lap will come and take the victory. Miko Nasi, the Finn from Singapore. Nakib, the Malaysian in P2. Damage on the last lap for Aleef Hamilton means he has to settle for P3 ahead of Jason Tay. What a finale. What a race that was. Pit strategy playing a real part in that. Aleef Hamilton gambling on a single pit stop. Just not coming good because he was knocked off top spot and second spot by Miko Nasi and Nakib Aslan. There were protests, but those protests didn't affect the overall result. Miko Nasi is the overall Gold Class Championship leader, just 4 points clear of Aleef Hamilton. Nakib Aslan, after a dreadful round one where he didn't score any points, picked up 29 last week. Kalen Chin and Luis Moreno will be consistent right the way through. Josh Perwin has had his bad week. They are the big names and they're providing us some real entertainment. There's also a Nations Cup in the 4 categories that we have in the eRacing GP. We accumulate all the points of the nations. ASEAN champions at the moment are the Philippines. That's going into this third round. But Singapore and Malaysia are more than capable of picking up points. And with 2 Australians in Josh Perwin and Kalen Chin, expect Australia to pick up points here as well. But this is good for the Nations Cup, and it just gives you an idea of the depth of talent that is out there in ASEAN and Asia Pacific. And on top of that, we've also got the Teams Cup. This is just to ensure that we're giving the correct attention to those guys who are supporting eRacing GP. We're in our 3rd full season now. We hope to carry on this for a long time yet. And Sim Racing Filipinas have got 153 points. Stratos Motorsports are strong as well, as are the Tedco X Project Moo Racing team. But it's good just to give a shout out to those guys who are involved in being supportive of the racers who have given us such terrific entertainment over the first 2 weeks of this season. All really good, Alex. And so now let's get onto the circuit itself and the racers itself. And we're on board with Aleef Hamilton. How do you think he will adopt to this very different style of track?
Well, it's kind of interesting because the practice servers are open, were on overnight. And I have to say that Aleef's been practicing all morning, actually with Nakib. So the tricky thing is we are changing formats. We have different formats to choose from. The first 2 rounds, we had 40-minute races. Now, the Gold Final will have 2 sprint races. So both races are 15 minutes. The second one is a reverse grid. The first one you have qualifying, which sets the grid for the first one. And then the second one is a half of the grid will get reversed. So I think it's the top 17 or something will be reversed. So Aleef, it's a different thing. But there won't be pit stops for the 2 sprint races. But tyre wear is still high. So they are all trying to make the soft tyre work, the red wall tyres work. But they're not quite going for the full 15 minutes. So we might see some different strategies. Some people might be on the prime tyres, which are slightly harder and they can push every lap. And some people, like Aleef, he's on the red tyres, which is a softer tyre. Can't push every lap. Otherwise, the tyres will get down to 0 and you will puncture before the end of the race. It's all about choice. But let's talk about the circuit. We've got a flying lap around the Daytona circuit. And it's on board Singapore's Jason Tay.
Hello everyone, my name is Jason and today I'll be taking you for a lap around the Daytona International Speedway in the route course layout. So here we are on the final corner of the track, entering the start-finish straight, left out all the way, and enjoy the views of Daytona as we cross the start-finish line. Focus into turn 1. You want to be trail braking your car into it. You don't want to be locking your wheels, but you also want to carry speed through it. Pound the gas on the exit. Come on the brakes again for this. Get the car turned in. Gently come on the power again. And flat out through this small kick. Pound the brakes. Trail brake into this corner here. You might be rolling the car into the corner and gently squeezing the power on exit. Counter brakes for this. Gently do the same thing as you run wide onto the oval section of the track and just enjoy the banks of Daytona. Take a breather for the next few corners. They are the scariest corners of this track. As we enter the bus stop chicane. You can't see the corner, but now you can see it. Send it into the left, into the right, back out through here. Hope you don't run wide. And that's it. Those are the scariest corners of the track. And mark my words, lots of accidents will happen over there in the race. It may be me, but I hope not. As you just pass the final corner of the track and onto the start-finish straight and across the line to end the lap. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you later on track.
Really good stuff there from Jason Tan. We're on board with Jason just now, and he mentioned, Alex, a scary bus stop.
Yeah, we saw in the earlier classes that a lot of carnage there. And it's so important to get that right because it leads on the long straight to the start-finish line. So you need to be quick there because you can really out-drag someone to the start-finish line and perhaps even win the race. Okay,
just before qualification starts, let's go to what we call the Spotter's Guide, where we look out for all the names and the liveries that the drivers will be using. Key guys, obviously, Mikko Nassi, the championship leader, he's in green, as is Yevon David and Kalen Chin. But the yellow and blue of Aleef Hamilton and the black and yellow of Mohamed Nakib, we really ought to keep a look out for them. For the Philippines, Luis Moreno has been really consistent in the red, white and blue.
So now, first lap in qualifying. It's 6 minutes qualifying and we're on board with the Mikko Nassi, the championship leader. He just goes across the start-finish line. He is on the soft wall, the red walled tyres, which are the softer compound. Gets turn 1 really nicely done. I think he'll be quite happy with that. Let's see if we can get a video of him on board. There he is, in the corner, on the right-hand corner of the lap, looking calm. He likes driving with pink and yellow socks, and sometimes when we show his onboard laps, we can see it. But he seems to be pretty happy with turn 3. You can see him nodding his head there. Very experienced racer. Very experienced real-life driver as well. Very, very good driver coach, based out of Singapore. Now turn 6. This is a very important corner to get right. Looks like he nailed it. The car's not squiggling under power. So it looks like a nice, good, clean exit down this long back straight. You can see he's straddling the yellow line. 2 reasons for that. 1, it makes the distance as short as possible, which is good, especially when it's an easy flat lap like that. And 2, it raises the front ride height, which also will decrease the drag. So it should help with a bit more straight line speed. Now through the bus stop chicane. Whoa, it's maximum commitment there. That looks just about perfect. It's great to watch IndyCars through there. They are so fast through there, so committed. And look, Mikko Nassi, purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. This will be good enough for pole position for now. For now, because there's still 4 minutes to go. As he comes now to the start-finish line. He goes across the start-finish line now. And that puts him on pole, 26.9.
Mikko Nassi, well, you picked the perfect man. He has a little look up, yeah. A little bit of a smile there from the overall championship leader. How about Mohamed Nakib? Oh, you were on with Aleef Hamilton there, aren't you? Aleef is the man who was pipped up the post in the last race, and he's the 2-time defending champion. You give Aleef a challenge, he normally responds.
Yeah, he's the most complete driver at the moment. And this puts him, where does this put him? Oh, this is the start of his lap. He hasn't done a lap yet, so he's just starting a lap now. Let's follow him all the way through. Aleef he's recognized as the best sim driver in Southeast Asia, perhaps even Asia Pacific, to be honest. He's very good on all the platforms, and that's why he's won. He's defending champion, and he won the first 2 global editions.
Aleef Hamilton, we're waiting. Bottom of your screen, if it goes purple, it's green. It's very close to being purple. 0.05 of a second, 500ths down on Mikko Nassi's time. So it's not too shabby a first sector from Aleef Hamilton, Alex.
Yeah, this is within touching distance, only 500ths of a second of Mikko Nassi, and you can see him straddling the yellow line right now, the double yellow line. This is allowed as long as he doesn't go onto the apron, which is on the left. Now he comes out. Now bust up chicane. This one is a great corner. How much commitment do you need here? And if you get it right, you're really rewarded. Oh, I wish I can't really see from this view. I don't know if that was good. Oh, he's a further 100th of a second out. It's all going to be about the bust-up chicane, but I think Miko Nasi had a really good exit, so I'm not sure this is good enough for pole position. Maybe the front row, because Kalen Chin is right there. He's so close to the pole position as well. Aleef now, though, he crosses the line.
Oh!
No, not quick enough. Just outside. 4 drivers within a 10th. Josh Perwin has just gone 4th.
Nakib has just taken pole position, Alex Young.
Wow, Nakib from nowhere, the Malaysian.
126.87. So he won't rest on his laurels, but he had such a nightmare race, number 1 of the season. He can't afford any more bad weekends. Let's have a look who else is out there. Josh Perwin, he's coming through. Josh Perwin currently on the 3rd row of the grid in P5.
Now Josh, he could do pole position. He's quick enough. Did he cross the line in time though? Is there enough time to set another lap? That's the big question. He's not carrying any success ballast because he had a dreadful race too, was out of the top 10. So no success ballast, so he'll be a little bit lighter than everyone. Not much, but just a little bit. But I know, talking to him earlier in the week, he really feels he can go for pole position here. Let's see what his Sector 1 is. Sector 1, oh, he's purple. Look at that, a 10.5 inside. So it looks like this could be good enough for pole position. But I don't know if he's got enough time to complete the lap. It's going to be close, I tell you what, Des. It's going to be close.
You better go quicker then, Hadley.
Yeah.
Josh Perwin, the young Australian, who perennially he's competing at the very top, but so often second, so rarely first. Is this an opportunity now? Midway through Sector 2, the rev counter 11.11.7. 8,080. So many revs. How good is he there? Oh, it's a little bit shabby through there.
Oh, he made a mistake. He ran a bit wide. He was inside. He was 3/10 in. He's going to be annoyed with that. Oh, Josh, you had it, mate. But a small mistake at the bus stop chicane. Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt.
But it's Nakib on pole. Nasi second. Oh, no, Aleef Hamilton right at the very end. That's what he does so often. So often. Out of screenshot as the lap counter down to 0. Aleef Hamilton says, there you go, boys. There's a reason I am the champion.
Wow, that was incredible qualifying. We've had great qualifyings for the Gold Classes edition. So round 1, round 2 was right on the ragged edge as well. Aleef, out of nowhere, managed to get pole. But Josh, really, I think Josh is the quickest car right now. He was 3/10 up on pole position. If he hadn't made a mistake at the bus stop, I'm pretty sure he would have put it on pole.
eRacing Grand Prix. It is the Gold Edition. 2 races coming your way, 2 15-minute races. Alex Young and Des Corkill in the commentary box for you. The cars are out on the circuit. Aleef Hamilton will be the man in pole position. The yellow and blue at the bottom of your screen. Is he able to hold on? What we will do is we will stick with Aleef Hamilton at the very start of this race to see what kind of a start he gets. The red lights go out. Aleef is off to a slow start. Nasi goes past him. Nakib, Kalen Chin all go past him. Aleef Hamilton has a nightmare.
Ooh, very poor start indeed. Now they have to be careful here. Everyone is very aware of the tyres, and everyone is on the soft compound tyre except for Russell Reyes from Philippines. He's on the prime tyre, so it's going to be really nip and tuck whether these drivers can make these tyres last all the way to the end of the 15-minute race.
So Aleef Hamilton was on pole but finds himself in P4. Miko Nasi, who we're on board with now, he is the man who has got off to a great start. He won on the last lap, having hunted down Aleef to take the victory. And this time, Alex, he's decided to go from the front and take Mohammed Nakib with him.
Yeah, now we're riding on board with Nakib. Nakib and Miko Nasi, they're both the best starters in the field. They had both really good starts in round 2, and they showed it again in round 3, especially Miko Nasi. What a start that was.
Kalen Chin in the second of the green cars has got Aleef Hamilton right behind him. but it's Nassi who leads. Mohammed Tasby has got off to a fairly decent start as well. Tasby in P5. We don't often mention him because he's belted out of the way by his cousin. As Hamilton goes through into P3.
Yeah, Kalen Chin very weirdly just pulled right out of the line to allow Aleef through. It was almost like a teammate helping Aleef. But maybe Kalen just doesn't want to lead at this point. He just wants to follow Aleef. There's still a long way to go, and he might just want to sit in the slipstream.
13 minutes still to race. It's Miko Nassi from Mohammed Nakib and Aleef Hamilton. Singapore, Malaysia, Singapore. The youngster Kalen Chin has got Mohammed Tasby behind him. Yevan David from Sri Lanka. He is in P6 with Jason Tay, who gave us that flying lap earlier on in P7. Best of the Philippines is Luis Moreno, but Luis is down in P9 with Josh Perwin ahead of him. Perwin goes wide. Moreno tries to sneak up through the inside.
Oh, Josh making another mistake. Made a mistake in qualifying. He's now made a mistake on the second lap of this race. This is not where he needs to be. He needs to be fighting with the top 5.
Moreno, all focus. Up at the front. Nassi leads, but he's got Nakib trying to go around the outside, and Nakib uses the slipstream and takes the lead for the very first time. Nassi currently in P2, but as they go through the bus stop, both take that at high speed, Alex Young.
Wow, look how strong the slipstream is. Miko Nassi is not even using the push to pass, and he's just closing. I don't think you want to lead on the last lap of this race. The slipstream is so strong. Miko's just lifting here. He doesn't want to overtake at this point. He's just sitting there. Wow, this is going to be another high-speed game of chess. Miko now goes wide. Is he letting Aleef through, perhaps? No, he's not. He just wants to make sure he brakes nice and cleanly for turn 1. Tyre wear is an issue, so these drivers, that will be foremost on their mind. Oh, and Kalen Chin has got past Aleef for 3rd position too.
He certainly has. Maybe Aleef said, oh, that was too generous of you, Kalen. I need to race past you. You can't give me these positions. But Mohammed Tasby, who did so well in the silver category last year to win, he is there. We're on board with Kalen Chin at the moment, who's currently in P3, but he's got Aleef and Tasby behind him. In front of him, he's got Miko Nassi.
Oh, great. I love this video here. You can see it's a replay on the right, but I can see how many push-to-passes he's got. He's got 8 push-to-passes, and I can see the tyre wear at the bottom right. So we're going to come back to this later in the race when tyre wear becomes an issue, because we can see how bad Kalen's tyres, or how good Kalen's tyres. Quite a few drivers not streaming their onboard video. I don't think they want people to see how the tyre wear is, but luckily Kalen is open and fortunate enough kind enough to let us see, as he now slips back in behind Mohammed Aleef.
Wow, look at the line that they take through the bus stop. Absolutely wonderfully done by Aleef Hamilton. Let's just break away from the leading 4 just for a moment, Alex, and let's talk about Dylan Tam, who's doing so well in the silver category. At the moment, he's in P15 as well. It is a step up from silver to gold, but a busy old day for young Dylan.
Yes, it is indeed. So he's at the back right now. But who else can we look at? Yevan David, the other older brothers of the other Davids. He's in 8th position as well. He really is the older brother. Very good karter, based out of Singapore. So doing very well indeed. So quite a lot of drivers, a lot of good nationalities in the field.
Back up to the race. Oh no, there is Yevan David. There are so many Davids in the various classes. This one fits the chair. That's good. That's how we can tell is the older. But currently in 8th place, he's got Josh Perwin, Jason Tay, Mohammed Tasby and Kalen Chin ahead of him. All catchable, but he needs to be careful of Luis Moreno behind him. Up at the front, Nakib has pulled out a bit of a gap. A 1.2 second lead as Melvin Moe gets a drive-through penalty. There's focus there on the face there of Mohammed Nakib Aslam.
And he's coming up against a back marker. Someone on the back markers obviously had an incident in the first couple of laps. So already getting to back markers, strangely enough. So he's got right out of the way, fortunately. So, okay, so Nakib's in front. But how hard can he push? I was talking to Nakib yesterday, and he says he can't make the soft tires last the whole race. So he has to really baby the car. If he even puts a little bit of abuse, the worst case scenario, he'll punch her on the last lap, because we've seen other drivers do in the past. You saw Kalen Chin punch her once. Or he'll just, his lap times will be so slow, like 3-4 seconds off the pace, that he'll be very, very vulnerable.
Well, what he's doing at the moment is he's got himself a 1 second lead over Miko Nassi. Aleef Hamilton is still the man in P3. And there's not much racing going on out there. It does seem that in this mid-stage of the race, Alex, they are all, I like your adjective, babying the tyres, making sure they hit the right marks, that they don't scuff them up too much.
Yeah, and that's really, really important. You just got to make sure you're nice and clean. Oh, Aleef, to get a little bit sideways like that. He won't want to do that, especially around the right-handers. Even though this is an anti-clockwise track, for some reason on this game, there is more tire wear on the left-hand side tires. The banking, for some reason, does not wear out the right-hand side tires. So drivers have to watch that, and maybe we'll get it on board with Kaylen later to look at tire wear.
8 minutes to race. Mohammed Nakib from Malaysia is the man in the lead. Miko Nassi, the Singaporean-based Finn, is in P2. Won last week's race. Good to see him being competitive, and now he's getting right up on the tail of Mohammed Nakib. Now this is them coming into the final corner, and maybe this is the first of several rehearsals for how this race will end, Alex Young.
Yeah, and he's just lifting. He doesn't want to overtake at this moment. He's just, look, he's completely lifting. He's just making sure he has a nice wide line so he can look after the tyres. Doesn't have to put any stress through the front right tyre as he goes through that corner. He's just lifting, and it seems to be working quite well for him, because when they just lift like that and just follows side by side, maybe he takes off some. Whoa! Nakib getting sideways on the exit there. He doesn't want to do that. That will cook that rear left tyre. So he has to look out for that. I'm wondering if he's just pushing too hard at the moment. For me, Miko Nassi looks the most comfortable out of the top three. It looks like he's just waiting, biding his time.
There is Miko Nassi, just kind of applying a little bit of vice-like pressure. Another mini mistake there from Nakib. If you can force mistakes out of Nakib, then you're doing something right. But you've got to be aware, because just behind them, tracking them like the hunter that he can be, is Mohammed Aleef Hamilton from Singapore. And that looks to me, Alex Young, the perfect place to be.
Yeah. If you can be second on the last lap and be really good through the bus stop chicane and not catch the leader too early, like you don't want to catch him right after the corner, you want to catch him like halfway through this corner they're in now, you can slipstream and take the win by the checkered flag. Oh, look, see, Aleef's looking to the outside for Miko Nassi. Is he going to try and go through all the way? No, he's not. He's having a small lift. He's tucking back into the slipstream. Will he try and go around the outside, though? You can go around the outside at turn 1. He decides not to. And that's, yeah, so for a moment, it's just holding station. Oh, a little bit sideways on the exit. So Aleef, oh, wow, 5 minutes to go. Maybe he's starting to run into a bit of tyre wear issues.
Yeah, so yeah, it is 5 minutes to go. It'll get interesting. A little bit further back, Kaylen Chin has lost touch with that front three. Mohammed Tasbi is close to him in P6. Jason Tay is leading a group of Yevon David, Lewis Moreno, and Josh Perwin has never got it right, Alex Young, since we were on board with him during qualification, and he aborted that final last lap to try to get onto pole.
Yeah. Josh. Well, he'll have the reverse race to look at. I mean, he's not going to win this race. He wants to break that duck, because he's finished the bridesmaid, finished second so many times in the ERGP, more than anyone. But he's only won one race. So I know that's starting to weigh on his mind a bit, and I think he just wants to break that duck so he can get the monkey off his back. And I think that will really release him to have better performances.
We're at the Daytona Raceway. It is round 3 of eRacing GP. Mohammed Nakib Aslan is the race leader. Once again, though, Aleef Hamilton, we were here in this exact position, this exact shot, just 1 lap earlier. Aleef decided, I just want to show you that I can go round you, Miko Nassi. And Miko says, go around me, and they're both playing very gentlemanly for now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Nakib's looking a lot more comfortable now. Looks like he's in front. He's probably had a couple laps where he's really saved the tires, really looked after them. Oh no, he's not. He's struggling with sideways there. He's struggling to get the traction down. He's getting some wheel spin. Who out of these top 3 are going to run out of tires first? That is the big question at the moment.
We've probably got 3 more laps after this. Yeah, they're lapping 1:28. So 3 more laps after this. definitely 2, possibly 3. That'll be an interesting calculation that they're going to have to make as well, Alex.
Yeah, it's, I think they'll get to 12 laps. So, like you said, after this will be lap, the end will be this will be lap 9. Then 3 more laps after that. Oh no, Josh Perwin has disappeared from the screen for some reason. He's not there anymore.
Josh Perwin is in the pits. There you go. It's been a very disappointing time. He joins your boy Alistair Young in the pits as well. Alistair never got off to a really good start. Let's get back onto the circuit. Caelan Chin in P4 is feeling a little bit of the pressure from Mohammed Tasby. But there's 4 seconds between them and Aleef in front of them. Hey, we've been here before. 3rd lap in a row. Nassi takes the same line. Aleef points his nose out, doesn't overtake. Nakib leads.
Oh, goes down the inside. Oh, that was close. Miko leaves him just a little enough space there. Gets a better drive. Oh, he's had contact. Oh, has he punctured Miko Nassi? Miko Nassi now. No, oh, that's it. Yeah, he's given him a puncher.
Miko Nassi slides out. That could be a real problem for Miko Nassi. There are 2.5 minutes still to go. He is back on the circuit, but is it with a punctured tyre, Alex Young?
You know what? I think it is. He's struggling there. The way he just slid off just now. Let's see through this next right-hander. If it is the rear left. Yeah, he's having to go really slow right now. This is a disaster for the Finn. It's dropping him right back out of the points. He's got to keep going, though. He's got to try and finish mid-pack so he can take advantage of the reverse grid race.
Oh, he slid out there. Currently in P9. Almost impossible to hold on. Back on the racetrack itself. Tasby overtakes Caelan Chin. As they come into the bus stop, he will move into P3. So he's in P3. Up at the front, Nakib has got a lead of half a second. But Aleef, there will be 2 laps to go, I feel. 2 laps to go.
Yes, there'll be 2 laps to go. This is the end of lap 10, I think. When he crosses the line, it'll be lap 10. 2 more laps to go after this.
And Aleef closes in unerringly. Nakib will feel the pressure. He'll feel the Aleef stare. He'll feel the pressure. He'll know that Aleef is just 0.4 of a second behind him.
Okay, this is the sort of corners he's got to look after. Ooh, Aleef getting a little bit of sideways action on the way out there. So I think they're both struggling. Let's go to Caelan Chin. I just want to see how the tyre wear is on Caelan Chin in a while, because it'd be really nice to see where it is when we look at the replay. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Look at the bottom right. All the tyres are blinking. The front left, all the rears are going. He's going to be struggling to finish. He's got 2 more laps. So if he's struggling with those tyres, and that's why Tasby's gone by, that means the front guys will be struggling with the tyres as well. He's got to finish this lap and do 1 more lap. I wonder how many drivers are going to be able to finish this race without puncturing.
Well, Mohammed Tasby, who had gone by, has actually dropped off a long way, Alex. He's dropped down now to position number 8. So everyone has gambled on the soft compound, and Russell Reyes, who's the only one on the medium compound, looks like he's going to pick up his first points of the season. Although it's 11th, this is a decent performance from the Indonesian.
Yeah, it's a great drive by Russell Reyes, the Filipino. He's he's got 1 more lap to go, and I think with the nice tires he's got, though he's making a hash out of there. Oh, look, the 2 cars in front go spinning. So he's going to collect these cars nicely. He might, who knows? He's going to end up in the top 5.
It was Tasby who spun out. Now then, we are on the final lap. The race time is over. Nakib has the lead. Has he protected his tyres enough? That's the unknowable for us here. And Aleef Hamilton, 2nd place behind them. We are on board with Nakib. No facial expression. We can't glean anything from what we're seeing bottom right of the screen, or can we, Alex Young?
Yeah, no, it's too close to tell. It's really going to be... It's got a couple more corners to go. Has he got the tyres to get out of it? Oh, he's got to push a bit here because Aleef is getting close.
There is Aleef right behind. The differential is just 0.4 of a second. We are on board with the race leader, Mohammed Nakib. Be an excellent victory for him if he does pick it up. His best lap time is a 1:27.2. Inevitably... Oh, actually, Caelan Chin. Oh, no, it's Aleef Hamilton who's got the best lap time of all, 1:27.1. So Aleef So as they come into the final stages of this race, will Aleef Hamilton make the move? A back marker to complicate matters. Also, Aleef backs off. He decides to let Naqib Aslan spin away from him, take the points on offer. So says the experienced campaigner Aleef Hamilton. Naqib Aslan takes the victory. Naqib will pick up 25 points. Aleef Hamilton will pick up 20 for second. Plus, we think the fastest lap. And this championship intriguingly poised, Alex Young.
Oh, I tell you, Naqib was really lucky with the back marker. The back marker gave him a toe, and so that Aleef just backed off after that because the toe was protected Naqib. Because I thought Aleef was going to outdrag Naqib to the line because he was having to break the air for both of them. But the back marker just allowed Naqib to keep the lead and therefore keep the win.
So Mohamed Naqib, his rejuvenated season continues. He will pick up 25 points. Thank you for your comments on Facebook. Oli Aquino, Miko is so calm despite what happened to him. I quite agree with you. I would be spitting feathers if what happened to Miko happened to me.
So now we've got the reverse grid race. Guess who's going to be on pole? It's the top 17, so the 17 reverse grid race. So Miko Nasi is going to be on pole.
Well, well, well. He wouldn't deliberately get himself a puncture 2 laps from the end, would he?
No.
Alex Young.
He has to fight for the championship. No one knows that it's the top 17 that gets reversed except for me.
So there is confirmation. Mohamed Aleef Hamilton picks up fastest lap and second place, but Naqib 25 points for first. Kalen Chin looked after his tyres for P3. Jason Tay came through into 4. Luis Moreno, would you believe it? That is another P5. Every race this season, Philippines' best exponent has finished in the top 5. eRacing GP Global Edition. It's round 3 of a 6-race season. Season 3. Fascinating. You've changed the rules a little bit this week, Alex Young.
Yeah, 2 sprint races for the Gold class just to make it interesting. It's a reverse grid race for race 2, which is about to start now. And a lot of drivers I'm seeing are on the red wall tyres, which is the soft tyre. And we saw the soft tyre didn't really last the whole race. But it's a reverse grid. You have to overtake. You have to push. I'm not sure how they're going to make this work. A lot of drivers on the soft tyres. Not sure how they're going to make it work, to be honest.
Alex Young and Des Corkill in the commentary box. Once we get onto the grid and we get all the drivers, I think what we might do is we might go on board with Aleef Hamilton just to see what kind of a start that he gets. He's a long way back. Miko Nasi is on pole position. We're also on board there with Kalen Chin. There's a big bunching up in the middle. Aleef avoids it all, but Miko Nasi has got off to a flyer. Aleef gets himself through into P15, goes through on the inside as well, but while he's struggling to make it through, look at that, Kalen Chin. How's Kalen done? Kalen's got himself up into P5. We're on board with Kalen, but Miko Nasi, Alex Young, got off to a flyer. An absolute flyer. A 2-second lead within 5 corners.
Yeah, he's gone, isn't it? I mean, he's going to lose the championship lead to Aleef Hamilton now. But he's just going to make sure he gets to race win, try and get the fastest lap as well to try and recover some of the points lost he would have lost in race 1.
He does look remarkably cool. It was a fine way to get up and running. Kalen Chin has got himself up into P3, and Kalen has dragged Mohammed Tasby and Yevon David with him. Let's go on board with Yevon David, who's in P5, the young Sri Lankan. Very, very close to the wall there.
Yeah, going through the bus-stop chicane now. Yevon David, oh, looking nice and committed. Who's in front of him? He's got a Tasby right in front of him. Yevon's been really quick on occasion this year, but not able to put it together for the last couple of races. But he has got the pace within him.
Just behind them, you've got young Dylan Tan, who's got himself up into P6. But he's nearly 2 seconds down on them. Tadashi and Brody Steen not far behind them. But up at the front, Miko Nasi. Wow, Alex, this lead is now nearly 3.5, 4 seconds.
Yeah, so that's it. Race over for Miko Nasi now. He's going to, I mean, because now he's in front. He's in the perfect spot. He can massage the tyres. He can look after him, make him last. But the battle for second position, that's going to be very close. Jaden Lowe's leading that right now from Kalen Chin.
There is Jaden Lowe. We don't often mention Jaden, so a good opportunity just to see if he's able to hold off the pressure. Kalen Chin is the man in his rear windscreen, and Yevon David and Mohammed Tasbi are just behind them. How about Nakib, who won race 1, and Aleef? They're in 10 and 9 respectively. And time is on their side. They've still got 12.5 minutes to make their way up the circuit.
Yeah, it's just Nakib must have made a mistake on lap 1 because he had a really good start into the top 10, and then he kind of fell back a bit, so must have made a mistake. He's got Aleef, like you said, right in front of him. He's falling out of the slipstream right now, and of course Josh Perwin is right behind Nakib as well.
Well, there is Josh Perwin. He owes himself, and I think he owes us a little bit of a performance. Ahead of them, Tadashi goes around the outside of Dylan Tan.
Oh, Tadashi looking around the outside, gets back into the slipstream. He's going to look around the outside again. Oh, Dylan Tan leaves space on the inside. I'm surprised Tadashi didn't go for it. But maybe he's just closed the door last minute. Will he look around the outside? No, he's looking to the inside again. Nah, decides better not risk it at this point. Dylan, though, he's snaking that car. He's using up those tires a lot, so he'll be running out of tires quite early, I feel.
Up at the front, Jaden Lowe has lost a few places. Jaden, who we focused on temporarily. I'm glad we did when he was second, because now he's dropped down to P5. It means Kalen Chin, Alex, is the man who's got himself into second place. The two green Stratos cars are both there. Kalen Chin and Yevon David, second and third, respectively.
Yeah. So see if they work together. Maybe, but I mean, nah, they're not going to win. They're not going to catch up Mikko Nassi. Mikko Nassi's 6 seconds down the road. It's going to be too hard. But yeah, Kalen looks pretty relaxed there. Still got 8 push to passes to use.
Lapping, well, 1:27.644, fastest lap so far from Mikko Nassi. Aleef and Nakib, they can't get under the 129s because they tend to get stuck in a little bit of racecraft and a little bit of traffic. We're on board with Nakib. He's currently in P8. Aleef is 2 places ahead of him.
Yeah, he's getting held up by the Dylan Tan. Dylan Tan is struggling, obviously, and it's causing some issues for... Oh, he's lagging as well. So Nakib wants to clear Dylan at this point because he doesn't really want to be stuck behind him. So he's going to have to consider using a bit of his tires to try and outbrake him to turn 1. He looks at the inside. He makes a move. Nicely done.
Jaden Lowe is just ahead of them. This is Aleef Hamilton in the distinctive yellow and blue. Second and fastest lap in race number 1. He's just posted a 1:29.013. That's his best lap of the race. Up at the front, Mikko Nassi. You said it was race over very, very early on. I think he's trying to prove you right. But we've still got best part of 10 minutes to go. And the one thing I've learned in 3 seasons of eRacing GP, Alex, you don't do anything. You don't suggest a victory as a victory until the finishing line.
Yeah, that's very true. Just asking for trouble then, aren't you? But yes, he's looking very good at the moment, though. He's too experienced. I can't see Mikko making a mistake here. It's too good at this level to throw this away. He'll be calm and collected as well. And look at him. He does look calm and collected. He's got a small smile on his face.
That's his TV face. I think he knows he's in shot there. Behind them, Kalen Chin is in P2. Yevon David in 3. Mohammed Tasbi 4. Jaden Lowe holding off. But I tell you what, Nakib and Aleef are closing in on Jaden Lowe. This is probably worth sticking with for the next minute or so, just to see how Aleef and Nakib cope with Jaden Lowe, who's in P5 ahead of them.
And Jaden's he's looking, leaving the gap there, because he is teammates with Aleef. They're both Legion of Racers teammates, and Jaden making it very easy for Aleef. And Nakib, very opportunistic to follow him through.
Well, Nakib, we thought perhaps there might have been a lot more overtaking than we've seen in these races, but certainly with using the Indycars, it hasn't really proven to be like that, because you're able to just get some drag from the man ahead of you.
Yeah, I think it's also down to the fact that everyone's having to look after the tires and baby them. We saw so many drivers in the last couple laps in race 1 having punches and struggling to finish the race. So drivers have to be super silky smooth to try and look after the tyres.
Great comment on Facebook from Dave Cheney saying, somebody wake up Miko Nassi. He's quite right. Miko is looking far too comfortable at the moment, and he's just increasing his lead. It's 8.5 seconds at the moment. Kalen Chin is the man who holds himself into second place. It's Kalen Chin. I think you need to make sure he stays awake, Dave. Just make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, because Yevon David in P3 isn't a million miles away from Kalen Chin at the halfway point of this reverse grid race.
Yeah, he's still close enough to get a bit of a slipstream. But Kalen's looking really good as well. Kalen's been quick all day today. As we watch Yevon David. David's just struggling a little bit for pace around this track. Hasn't been as quick at this track as he has been at other tracks. Maybe he hasn't been able to put in the practice he needed to in leading up to this race. It is very important to put in the hours. And these sim racers all know that if they want to win these races.
Now then, the battle between Nakib Aleef has got interesting, because Tasby is between the two. Now, Tasby is a relative of Aleef Hamilton. And if a teammate's not going to make life easy for Nakib, a relative definitely isn't going to make it easy for him.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for Nakib. Tasby obviously let his brother through. There's no rules against that. And I don't think it's going to make it so easy for Nakib to get through.
So difficult for Nakib, winner in race number 1. The problem is, any advantage that Aleef Hamilton can use, he takes full advantage of. So with 6:20 still to race, I think it's important that Nakib does find a way past Mohamed Tasby. But Tasby is a very, very capable driver in his own right.
He is. Tasby I think at Jim Mills Vilton's room, just using his sim, because Miss Vilton was in the silver class, won the silver class. So Nakib, you look at the inside there. Tasby's not covering the inside, surprisingly enough. But wow, they're all on this rev limiter right now. Tasby's also getting the tow from his brother. Okay, Nakib looks to the outside. What a move! Round the outside. Tasby did not make it easy for the Malaysian. And somehow makes it through. Keep it clean, boys. And yeah, super clean. But, you know, Nakib, again, he'll have to take a lot out of his tyre life to make moves like that. And I still think he's going to run out of tyres before the end of the race.
I can tell you, Inigo Antan has also gone past Mohamed Tasby, so I'm wondering if there's a problem for Tasby's tyres, because he was defending. So Inigo Anton, who is the subject of real support from the Philippines, he's got himself up into the top 6. And it's rare to say, but Inigo Anton is the best of the Filipinos.
Oh, wow, good to see him. Anton, one of these drivers, has improved as we've gone through all these different global editions. So good to see him up there.
But at the front, Stratos, 1, 2, 3. Miko Nassi is leading. Almost a race of his own. 10 seconds clear. He has been. It's down to 8 just at the moment. But 10 seconds, the relaxed, composed, chilled, somnambulant Miko Nassi.
Big word, that. And he's got fastest lap as well. So this is going all his way for race 2. It won't make up totally for the disappointment of race 1. But it will certainly help.
And he'll probably lose his position at the top of the standings, because he was 4 points clear going into this round. He'll pick up, well, 15 points, assuming he holds on for these final 4 minutes and 20. Second place, also a green-coloured Stratos car of Kalen Chin. Chasing him is Yevon David. If we can move to Inigo Anton. Inigo Anton, Alex, is trying to make a move on Nakib and spoil Nakib's day.
Yeah, Nakib, I think he's dropping back from Aleef as well. He's just disappearing. This is the... Oh, Anton sideways like that. Oh, that's not going to be good for tyre wear either. I think Anton is starting to struggle. They're all starting to struggle. Just over 3.5 minutes to go. So, this is the time. We saw it in race 1. This is the time Miko Nassi ran into problems as well.
Okay, Aleef. Has he looked after his tyres? Almost certainly. Not giving us a little glimpse on how it is, but there's plenty of track. He's got Yevon David not quite in his sights, but not too far away. Nakib 2 seconds down as he comes into this wonderful bus stop double chicane.
Nice and clean through that. But yes, Aleef has definitely disappeared off into the distance. Nakib is going to find it very difficult to get back at his championship rival. Down the start, finish straight, one more corner to go. At the end of this lap, 2 more laps to go after this, I think. Or was it 3 more laps? 3 more laps to go after this. Through turn 1, Nakib looking nice and calm. Let's have a look at how Tasby is doing with Indigo Anton. Tasby there, struggling. He made a mistake, Anton got by, but now I think Anton is struggling with some tyre wear issues. And look how focused he is there. He's in Jin Masvilton's chair. You can see the Arsenal banner in the background. They are cousins on the island state of Singapore. But Tasby is not giving up. He reckons he can try and get back at Anton.
Well, there's a battle for the P5, 6 and 7. For 6 and 7. Ahead of them, Aleef and Nakib. 2 minutes still to race. Nakib currently in P5. Aleef is closing in, though, on Yevon David. Now then, this would be a real bonus if in this last 2 minutes or so, Alex, Aleef Hamilton could pick up Yevon David. Indeed, he has. He's moved into a podium position. Yevon is battling hard to hold off the 2-time defending champion. But, oh, and then he does hold off. That's good work. But I think we've seen that Aleef wants a podium at the very least.
Yeah, he'll want to try and get as many championship points as he possibly can over his rival. And look at that, Yevon's defending for the position, as is his right. Made a mistake at the bus stop chicane, which allowed Aleef to get at him. And now Yevon is going to be slowing Aleef down a lot. Oh, Aleef looks at the inside there, decides to go for the outside because Yevon covers the inside. Wow, you know, this is going to play back into Nakib's hands because Nakib's going to close the gap onto these two drivers.
Well, let's have a little look back. Nakib, it's a bit far away, 1.5 seconds, but they are dueling. Look at that, Aleef has got himself into P3 temporarily, but has he got the right side of the track? Yevon David, yeah, Aleef pulls himself up into P3. That is potentially huge in the championship, and Nakib is just a spectator watching from behind.
Yeah, it's not close enough. His tyre wear is a big issue. His lap times started going all in the high 28s when they really should be in the low 27s. So there'll be one more lap after this, well, depending if Mikko Nasi crosses the line in time. But yes, 20 seconds to go. Mikko Nasi, will he cross the lap in time?
That's going to be interesting, isn't it? 15 seconds. Oh yeah, we're going into one more lap, I feel. Mikko, yes. Yeah, we're on to the final lap for Mikko Nasi, and that is good news, perhaps, for Mohamed Nakib, because he can pull onto the tail of Yevon David. He's within a second.
Ooh, look at that. Yevon David look towards the inside, not able to make it work. Oh, and Yevon spins out. Spins out. So obviously having tyre wear issues as well. This is the last lap of the race. This is the battle, I feel. Mohamed Nakib in 4th with Aleef Hamilton from Singapore in 3rd. They're both championship rivals right now, and they'll be right now. Their tyre life will be screaming red on their onboard cameras and really struggling to make this last lap finished. Right,
Aleef 3, Nakib 4, Yevon David, who's got some support from Facebook, but he's dropping off into P5. It's a good P5, but it could have been so much more heroic for him. In the meantime, Mikko Nasi is, well, romping away from this. You called it very early on. He was on pole. He's got himself a good 10-second lead. It got as high as 12 seconds. Indeed, it is 12 seconds as he takes the victory very, very comfortably. Mikko Nasi gets a recovery victory in race number 2 and will pick up maximum points. He'll pick up 15 for the win, plus 2 for the fastest lap at the moment at a 1:27.3. Aleef Hamilton comes home in P3, Kalen Chin 2, Aleef Hamilton P3, and Mohamed Nakib, a frustrating P4 for him.
Well, yeah, but you know, I think Aleef and Nakib will be really pleased with that 3rd and 4th, because you know that reverse grid race was very tricky, quite messy. We saw a lot of cars with contact in the first few laps, so to get to the top 5, they'll be happy with that.
Well, Mohamed Nakib gives us a spectacular tyre wall finish, but the race is already over. He will pick up points for that. Mikko Nasi currently is the man in P2. Sorry, in P1, but it doesn't compensate for his earlier problems in race 1 when he could only finish 17th out of the points, having suffered a puncture with just 2 minutes to race. Caelan Chin second. Aleef Hamilton will regain the lead. Alex Young at the top of the overall championship standings. He's picked up 3rd place here, but Nassi will pick up 17 points.
Yeah. So that'd be a good lead in the championship now for Aleef. He was really having quite a nice lead there. Miko Nassi, I think, was still just about hold on to 2nd position, with Mohammed Nakib closing the gap to the front 2 in 3rd position. Okay, so
but, yeah,
who do you want to talk to first then?
It's got to be Miko Nassi to see how he performed in that 2nd race, because he got off to such an absolute flyer, and he never really seemed in any control, and the tyres seemed to hold up absolutely perfectly.
Okay, let me see if I can unmute him and unmute me. And Miko Nassi, can you hear us?
Hello, yeah, sounds good.
Loud and clear. Well, so, okay, we saw race 1, you were very unlucky. Do you want to just start with race 1? What happened there?
You mean the incident itself?
Yeah, did you have a tire puncture or?
Yeah. So I was, from the start, I was saving tires because the rears, they actually wear down and it changes the gear ratio. So I was actually going super gentle on all the accelerations because it helps at the end of the race. So you don't hit the limiters soon. But yeah, then it was, I think I had 30% left when it was just a tiny tap and that's puncture.
Oh, unlucky. But you certainly made amends for that in race 2.
Yeah, I was just hoping that I got the correct position for the reverse grid.
And
so
you did.
Limped it home.
Wow, okay. So, championship. This is going to hurt a little bit for the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing more races or not. We'll find out soon.
Wow. Anyway, it's great to have you with us. Good to see you driving strongly. And well done.
Thanks, man.
Miko Nassi will lose his position as the championship leader going into the 2nd half of the season. We've got a week's break next week for the drivers just to just get a little bit of a respite from eRacing GP, but the championship leader will be the 2-time defending champion Aleef Hamilton, and Mohammed Aleef I think is probably on the line with us, and another nice weekend for eRacing for you, Aleef. But it looked like you were holding something back in both races.
Yeah, I mean, you could say so, but I was just trying to just push as much as I can. With race 1, obviously, Nakib having a very good start. And yeah, I was just trying to hunt him down. And it was unfortunate what happened with Miko. But yeah, P2 and then P3 on race 2, yeah, it was super tricky, man. Especially race 2.
I race 1, yeah, unlucky with Miko Nassi. I don't think there was there was nothing wrong with it. It was just the slightest touch, and he was a bit unlucky there. But race 2, wow, the first few laps, there was so much contact, and with full damage, I was really worried that a few of you wouldn't have been able to finish the race.
Yeah, man, I couldn't take the same amount of risks as what I would do on a DTM. So I really had to hold back on my moves. Really need to analyze, or I needed to analyze what the guys in front were doing. And I found, I mean, I keep catching the guys in front at the wrong place, which was before the bus stop. So I had to give a gap so that the dirty air doesn't affect me. But yeah, other than that, it was just super tricky, man. First time doing reverse grid as well with IndyCars, and it's just, yeah, super tough.
Yeah, we'll probably do it again one more time before the end of the year anyway. Well done, Mohammed Aleef.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, cheers. See you guys 2 weeks' time for round 4.
Indeed, he will. So, time for one more. Is Nakib on the line? It's always good because Nakib picked himself up a very, very useful win in race number 1. But the back marker right at the end may well have helped him.
Yeah, let's try and get Mohammed Aleef on the call. Let's put him onto the full screen first, and then make the transition.
Hi, Nakib. Hi, welcome. A good weekend for you. Nice to get that victory in race number 1.
Yeah, it was really important, I think, for me to get that win. Obviously, I thought I got pole, and Aleef snatched it right at the end, so I was a bit annoyed with that. But the race start was good, and had to take the lead from Miko after that. And after that, it was just all about maintaining the tires. looking after the gap, and yeah, and it played out well.
Yeah, congratulations on that. The race 2 looked a bit more tricky though. Aleef was just saying how tough it was to stay out of trouble, and especially you on the start. You had a lot of contact.
Yes, so like Aleef said, it was the first time we ever done a reverse grid with IndyCars and full damage. So I know the IndyCars are so much more sensitive to damage. So the first lap, the start, mostly was just making sure I kept clean. I had a really good start, but I had nowhere to go. So sadly, I couldn't make much of that. And after that, it was just making sure I made my move stick. Followed Aleef where I could, but his brother thankfully did a good job of holding me up. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, we did notice that brotherly love over there. How about the soft compound on the tyres? Because in both races, that really seemed to come into play in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the race.
Yeah, so when I was coming up to practice for this race, it was really close between the soft and the hards. In the end, I chose for the softs because overall it was faster, but you just had to play in your mind that you need to save it in the end. Ultimately, I think if we went on the hards, it would have been slower for sure. So all in all, it was a good idea to go to the softs because if not, I would have really struggled to get past everyone.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Ali. Naqib, really good job, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, see you too.
So we're at the midpoint stage of the eRacing GP season. They are the 3 guys who are at the very top of the standings. Aleef Hamilton, though, the 2-time defending champion, is still Alex Young, the man to beat. Yeah, he is. He just showed his experience and his speed, of course. The way he snatched pole right at the death was super impressive. Yeah, he just looked after his tires really well. He had a bit more pace in hand. I think, you know, Miko, Naqib and Aleef were about the same lap times, really. But maybe Aleef and Miko were a bit better with the tyre usage, and I could see just always towards the end of the race, Aleef especially was very strong. As for the Australian Challenge, Josh Perwin had another disappointing week. Caelan Chin, though, very nice second place for race number 2. Always competitive, but it's going to take some step up to hit the heights of Miko Nassi, Aleef and Naqib Aslam.